Hi, I'm Gina. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel. I have a video for you today that's in my series that I've titled Let's Talk Mental Illness. And the topic of today is emotional support animals. I want to start out, for those of you who have not seen my videos before, I am not a mental health professional. I have mental illness. I have dealt with it my whole life. I ran a support group through the Depression and Bipolar Support Alliance, where I was trained how to do so. I ran that group for about 5 years, took a lot of classes, and I was able to speak in conferences. I was on the state board, so I was very involved, and I have quite a bit of head knowledge concerning mental illness. So that is why I'm making these videos, because I so much miss my support group. I am a caregiver at heart, and I just want to help people. So that's why I'm doing this. And it is my hope that these videos will be able to benefit you and to help you within your daily life. So today, the topic is emotional support animals. This is for people who have been diagnosed with a mental illness, that we can have support animals legally in apartments. And this applies to the Disability Act laws in accordance with your tenants. And I'll get into that in just a moment. I got on the internet and I looked up a few things. I know from experience that animals can be a great source of support, especially when you have mental illness, because with depression, just knowing that there's something there with you that loves you unconditionally, that will just let you hold them and cry all over them if you need to, and they are a great source of support. I have also seen them in hospitals and nursing homes, where they will take service animals that are specifically for this, that they take them into these facilities, and the patients there, you can just see their face light up and the joy that comes to them, and just the sensation of petting an animal and feeling it respond to you in such a positive way, that is physiologically and mentally a stimulant that helps with the emotions and mental illness. I had a rabbit. Her name was Lady. And before my accident that made me disabled, at one point I had 2 rabbits, 2 rats, and 2 mice. Well, I had my car accident. Physically, I was unable to work. So I lost my apartment, I lost everything. I moved in with my kids, took all my animals with me, and the fact of knowing that I could not go back to work just triggered my depression and my bipolar so badly that there was no way I would be able to work because of my mental condition. So when I was able to find federally funded housing, I read up on this on the internet, and I went to my therapist, and she was able to write a letter to my landlord explaining that I did have a mental illness and that having a support animal would benefit me and my disability greatly. And basically what that is a landlord cannot deny you an emotional support animal. Even if he has a no pet policy, you are protected through the Disability Act. And as long as you have a letter from a mental health professional stating that you do have mental illness and that it has been proven that having a support animal is beneficial in relieving and helping the emotional disability of that individual. There are some things that come into play with the FAIR Act and some of the legality, so I got online to get the proper information for you. The first part of it came from Wikipedia when I Googled it online. It says that emotional support animals are proven to be therapeutic, provide comfort, to help relieve a symptom or effect of a person's disability. Under U.S. law, an emotional support animal is not a pet and is generally not restricted to a species. It is different than a service animal. Service animals are trained to do specific tasks, like with a blind person, it helps them to navigate, to get around. I have seen service animals for people with diabetes, and they can detect when that person's blood sugar is too high or too low. I don't know how, but that's how they're trained, and they carry a little backpack on them that will have an alarm if this person really needs a lot of medical attention, or the backpack has the supplies needed to help the person get their medication, to help their emergency situation. So they are different. Emotional support animals are not trained. They are simply animals that provide emotional support and bring well-being to a person with mental illness and a diagnosed disability. Let's see, any animal that provides support, well-being, comfort through companionship, unconditional positive regard, and affection may be regarded as an emotional support animal. Now, here is where we get into the legal stuff. And I wanted to make sure I got this right. And I will put the websites and information across the bottom of the screen for you to review yourself and to research. Generally, all that is needed is a letter from a certified mental health provider or healthcare worker stating that the animal provides emotional support that alleviates one or more of the symptoms or effects of the disability. Mental health professionals have to do this. An example is your therapist or psychiatrist. As far as I know, like a case manager, they are not legally able to do this. So just talk to, if this is something you are interested in, then just talk to your therapist and or psychiatrist to get more information from them as to what they really need to do. We have legal protection against housing discrimination, and it's afforded to people with mental disabilities under 2 federal statutes. One is Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, and the Federal Fair Housing Amendment Act, or otherwise known as FHAA, of 1988. This creates a general rule that a landlord cannot discriminate against people with mental disabilities to equally enjoy the use of a rental unit. The landlord must provide the accommodations such as a waiver of a no-pet policy for an emotional support animal under the FHAA in Section 504. And I will find those websites and run those along the bottom of the screen for you. To establish a waiver for emotional support animal, the tenant must have a disability to receive such a benefit. The housing authority must receive federal financial assistance. So this does not apply to your cousin Eddie who wants to rent out an apartment to you. These laws only go into effect with public housing, HUD, which is who I use. Any housing authority that gets federal funding, they are the only ones that will qualify under these protections for you. You also have to be able to clean up after the animal and walk the animal in designated areas. If you cannot take care of the animal, I mean, in any regard, if you can't take care of an animal, you have no business having them. Unfortunately, that's just the truth. Under the Disability Act, the landlord cannot legally charge extra fees and deposits for a disabled person that has an approved emotional support animal. So a lot of these apartments that have a no pet policy, they want to charge you a deposit, an additional deposit, and charge you more each month per rent. And according to these legal acts and under the Fair Housing, they are not permitted to do that. They have to waive that for you. Let's see. However, if the animal possesses a danger to other tenants, or the person abuses or neglects their animal, the landlord can have the animal removed. Which, this is common sense with any home and any tenant, any person, any animal. If you've got a boa constrictor, I really don't think the landlord's going to approve that because, number one, it could harm you, and if it gets loose, it could harm the other tenants, and that's just not doable. And again, you must be able to care for the animal. There are laws for that too, for anybody that neglects or abuses animals. You can legally be charged for that. So this also applies to your landlord and an emotional support animal. To be safe, discuss this first with your mental health provider and your landlord. As I read more and more about this online, there are some exceptions to the laws where landlords and housing authorities have taken this to court and they've won some part of it and other parts they didn't, and it depends on your state. So really look into this. First, I would talk to your mental health professional because they are probably aware of the actual laws and protections for this and what they need to do. Now, for me to have my rabbit, my daughter was taking care of her, but I did read about the emotional support animal, and it is the truth that when I had Lady, she was entertaining, she brought me joy, I could hold her and I could feel her love. When I was depressed and I was crying, she would just lay there in my lap and I would have tears pouring down my face and getting her fur wet, and she didn't care. She just loved me. And unfortunately, she passed away 2 years ago. And I've just not been able to get myself to get another animal for fear of it passing away again. It was very devastating for me. With a mental, emotional disability anyways, something like that is devastating. She died in my arms, and it was horrible. So I simply haven't gotten one because of that. Also because I do live in a group setting where I have roommates, and I can't expect my roommates to help care for whatever animal I bring in, especially a dog. I would really love to have a dog. I always did my whole life. They're just so loving, and the big dogs, to me, the big dogs and the ones you get from the shelters are the best behaved, the most loving of any dog that I've ever had as a pet. So this is my segment on emotional support animals. Again, I will run these protection acts across the bottom of the screen so that you can look them up yourself. And like I said, generally all that you need is a letter from your mental health provider that you do have a mental disability and that you would benefit from having an emotional support animal. And then you give that letter to your landlord and keep a copy for yourself. That is what I did. And you really shouldn't run into any problems, like I said, unless any of the other things apply, like it's dangerous or you're just physically not able to care for the animal. And again, that goes with common sense. You know, if you can't care for an animal, even if you don't have a disability, you shouldn't have one. So, anyways, that is the topic for today. I hope that you all are doing well. I am staying one more night at the hotel just for my own well-being, self-care, time for myself. My hair, if you've noticed, is a little different. I straightened it for a while, and I got on Facebook and I wanted a poll. I said curly or straight, and I posted 2 pictures. And all but one person said I looked better with curly hair, that it was more natural, which my curls are natural, so I kind of agree with that. The flat iron is really a little bit easier to manage for me, but that's okay. I love my curls, and I'll keep them until I think I want to use the flat iron again. So that's just about me and what's going on with me. Again, I will give you my email address. I will have that run across the bottom of the screen. If you would like to talk to me about anything, if you're, just despondent, you want to vent, whatever, I'm here for you. You can email me, and whatever you tell me in your email stays with me. It will be private. I won't discuss it with anyone I know, and certainly not here on YouTube. Feel free to leave comments. I don't have very many people that leave comments. I don't know if they're just not comfortable or what, but leave me some feedback. Let me know what you think of my videos, if they've helped you, if you've been able to pass them along. That's another thing, is I need to have these to get out to more people. So the more that you can share these videos with people you feel would benefit from them. If this is the first video you've seen from me, if you go to my actual YouTube channel, you will see that I have filmed, I think maybe 12 or 15 videos so far. They're mostly about mental health. Some of them are about my favorite group, BTS, from Korea. And I call myself an army mom. I love them. They make me happy, and that's all that matters. So some of my stuff is about that, and I have some videos about myself, but the general majority of it is videos about mental illness. And it's simply because I've been wanting to start another support group, but with the pandemic and with me financially and everything just not being able to, I found this way of getting out and reaching people, but I just need to be able to reach more people. And because people don't like to talk about this, people don't like to admit to other people that they have mental illness. So if people can just come and watch these videos and see that they're not alone, that you're looking at a woman right now that has mental illness. I've had it my whole life. I have several different diagnoses, some of which are PTSD, bipolar disorder, severe depression, anxiety, all of that pretty much just rolls up into one big nasty ball. And I've dealt with it my whole life. I look like I'm doing okay today, but I'm not always doing okay. There are days that I really don't even want to get out of bed. I don't want to talk to anybody, and I certainly won't want to fix my hair and makeup and get in front of a camera. So there will be times that I won't be able to do this. But just know that I will. I'll be back. But people need to know that there are other people just like yourself. You're not alone. There are millions of people all around the world, and if you check my description box on all of my videos, just click where it says description, and I put numerous websites and phone numbers of organizations where you can get information and help and support for mental illness, and along with my email in case you'd like to contact me. And at this point, I always like to say that I care about you. If you are in any kind of a mental health crisis to where you feel like you could hurt yourself, or you're even thinking about hurting yourself, please call 911 and let them know what's going on. I've had to do that several times. It's been my experience that the EMTs are very courteous, very compassionate and kind, and they simply take you to the hospital, you get assessed, and either they can put you in the direction of more support to get, or they will admit you. And I have been admitted to the mental health ward various times. It's nothing to be ashamed of for you to reach out for help. If you need help, you need help. You know, if you feel like you're having a heart attack, you're certainly going to call 911 and get help for that. So if you feel like you're just not right, you're going to hurt yourself, or you're terrified, whatever it is, call 911 and they can help you. Also, there is a national suicide prevention hotline, and I will scroll that across the screen now. They are professionals. They are free. They are available 24/7. Just call this number, and it's generally for in crisis basis and for if you're considering suicide. And they as well are very compassionate and understanding and will lead you in the right direction. And if they feel that you need emergency medical, emergency immediate care, they will actually call 911 for you and help you to help talk to you until they get there. Then there is a warm line if you feel like you just need somebody to talk to. I've used it before. There is a number you can text and you can chat with them. It's free. They're there 24/7. They're very compassionate and understanding people. They can give you advice. They can give you websites. They can just talk to you, whatever you want or need. It's very useful. So, if you like this video, please be sure to push the like button and let me know that you're there and you appreciate what I'm doing. And also that way when you go to your YouTube channel, you can see what you have liked and be able to come back to this again. And then by all means share. Share that there is this 54-year-old woman that has mental illness that wants to talk to you, that wants to help you, that wants to give you personal experience and head knowledge that I've learned from the support organizations. Please send them my way, and I hope that I would be able to help them as well. Be sure to subscribe, and in doing that, you will be alerted to any new videos that I post, and just to be able to keep track of me and what's going on my channel. So I will scroll all of that information on the bottom of the screen. I have this editing app that I've pretty much figured out how to work. It's not that hard. Anyways, I always end this with, I hope you have a great day. God bless. And until I see you again, bye-bye.